YouTube, what is going on? My name is Argon. Welcome back to some Fortnite informational, instructional, and conversational type of content. Today I got a different kind of video for you guys. We're going to have a little commentary discussion. We're going to talk about some of the problems that we've seen in Fortnite lately. There's been a lot of stuff going on around lately, around Twitter, around Reddit. A lot of people upset about the meta of this game and where it's going and what it's doing. There's a lot of people saying it's not as fun anymore. A lot of rumors that it's dying. It's kind of losing its appeal, whatever it is. We're going to talk about that. I've got my reasons why. I'm going to break this down into 3 reasons why Fortnite is blatantly kind of messing up. I'm going to also explain why for each of those reasons. Also, I'm going to suggest some ways to fix all this, because we don't like to just rant. We like to provide solutions to problems because we love this game and we want this game to be awesome all the time. But before I go into that, guys, of course, we have a giveaway every month in this channel. Whoever it is that's the most active will get some V-Bucks at the end of the month. All you have to do to enter, guys, is subscribe to the channel, make sure notifications are turned on, like all the videos, and comment down below. Get active in the comment section. Follow me on Twitter. The more times I see your name pop up, the more likely you are to win. Of course, this goes on forever, essentially. So you have more than one chance to win. Just make sure you're active, have some fun, and you'll end up winning some V-Bucks eventually. Alright, guys, so basically, I got 3 categories and 3 reasons, I guess you want to say, why this game is kind of losing its meta, or the meta's turning negative, I guess you could say. A lot of people are just not having as much fun with the game anymore. So here's what it comes down to for me. This is probably built up over time. It's definitely built up over time. As a person who's played this game since day one, I've kind of watched this game evolve, and I've seen how things have been made to be made mistakes, and where things should have been done differently. Of course, I'm not the developer, so I can't fix that, and of course, they didn't do it on purpose. They're trying their best. Everybody is. But here's where things have gotten a little bit awry. First reason. Fights are lasting way too long. There's several reasons why this occurs. First of all, I'm going to say this, it's not really in any specific order, and none of these are in any specific order. It just happens to be that they all contribute to the problem. The first thing that occurred was when they added minis to the game, the mini shields, that really kind of threw the balance off. I don't mind having mini shields. I think it's cool. I think it's okay to have them. But the fact that you can carry 10 minis and you can just take 50 health or 50 shield at any time, basically in a matter of 4 seconds, which is faster than it takes to put on a full shield, it just promotes a lot of things that are not very beneficial to the game. If you're in a build fight, it'll make you stop and turtle up until you can shield. If you're attacking, it'll make you stop and turtle up. All in all, and then on top of that, you're also having more health, so it makes gunfights last a lot longer. So if someone's got 10 mini shields on them, as long as you're not doing damage to their health and you're only hitting them once or twice, you're probably going to just re-shield up every time, and it's going to take, man, that's essentially what, 250 extra health that they have on them. But they got all that on them, and then they could just use that. That makes for a person that has 350 health potentially, assuming they don't have more when you first start, so maybe almost 400. That's a lot of damage that you have to do to somebody to finally eliminate them, right? So the minis add to the game, the fight's lasting way too long, right? The other thing is, building is way too easy. They made it super, super easy, not only on console, not only on PC, but also on console. Back in, what was it, February, when they did the big building update, where they added turbo building, and they added the non-interference of structures into your building, and then, of course, I think they added the auto material switch. That just made building go from kind of difficult to extremely easy. Now all you really have to do is just spam. And on top of that, for console, they've added things like the Builder Pro scheme, and that just made it even easier. When this game launched, the default controls for building were really hard. The fact that you can build anywhere at any time, turbo build, it makes the game a lot easier. And then one more thing that they don't really say in any patch notes is that the way that they make building sticky, in a way, if you could think about it like this, when you go to place a wall, sometimes you'll notice that if you spin, it'll kind of place the wall in front of you and also one past you. Like, why is that being placed there, if that makes sense? So imagine like you put a wall in front of you while you're turning to build a 1x1, and it somehow places a wall 1 square away. Like, I don't know why that would even happen. But more frequently, why this is causing a problem is if you're ramp rushing somebody, or let's say you have a high ground on somebody and they are rushing around or rushing up to you, they can just, not even on purpose, do the thing where they are running up a ramp and automatically place a ramp above them. It seems like if anybody's running next to a structure of any kind, it'll automatically put a ramp above them, and that's just too OP. It should be some skill involved in being able to put that ramp above you and below you, and that's making it really hard for you to kill somebody because you're having to shoot through another layer of material, right? The fact that somebody's able to do that just makes everything way too easy, and again, makes the fights last longer. The last portion of this, discussion about fights lasting too long is just the weapons in general. They just keep nerfing them. Shotguns have been nerfed to oblivion, so the amount of damage you can do it's reduced, the amount of health you can carry is increased, and the ability to build is increased. So all in all, it just makes fights last longer. That kind of leads to my next point. The next reason why Fortnite's kind of failing right now is it's too easy to get around the map, right? It's too easy for people to engage, get close to each other. Now that is cool in one way, but what ends up happening is you get third partying way too often now. This has become really a problem in Season 5. Now you've got all these rifts, you've got the other bounce pads, the ATKs, the impulse nades, the jump pads. It all makes it easy to get around the map. What ends up happening is you'll engage in a fight. The fight will take too long, like I just discussed, and by the time you're done, there's a third party on you ready to go. It shouldn't be that easy to close a gap on somebody. Yes, it's cool because it makes you able to do something if you have to be aggressive, but if you're in a fight and you just get done, you beat somebody, you have a great battle, and you want to collect yourself for maybe 5 seconds, collect some materials, loot up, maybe heal yourself, because you'll have to heal yourself, you won't have a chance. And then whoever wins is always the last person to show up. And that's just not a way to play a game, honestly. It's just not. And especially like I talked about in the first section of this, with building being as easy as it is, you're going to burn through a lot of materials. So a lot of times you get through one fight and you have no match left. This just sucks. So the fact that it gets so easy to get around the map is really killing it too. The last portion of this that I want to talk about that has to do with why Fortnite's kind of failing is balance is all messed up. The weapons are all, the balance is all messed up, right? The problem really is there's too many weapons, right? And so here's the thing. When a game launches, it has a certain number of weapons. The developers took a lot of time and put a lot of thought into how to balance those weapons. And since the launch of this game in particular, they've probably quadrupled the amount of weapons that they've added and items that they've added to the game. And that's just hard to keep balanced. You know what I'm saying? So if you have, you know, you're not putting the forethought into how to balance certain things because you're bringing them in a matter of a couple weeks or maybe even a week or however long it takes to introduce a new weapon. You know, we don't see them. That it has to be happening quick to the point where the game designers can't sit around a table and say, if we do this, what will happen? Should we do this? How do we balance that? How do we balance this? For the most part, they've done a pretty good job, and the way they've done that is by always nerfing things. That keeps things from being OP, but it makes everything else difficult, makes fights last longer, as usual, right? Like, for example, the double shotgun issue, double pumps, that was a broken mechanic that they didn't want. How did they fix that? They added in well, they tried to do a bunch of things to fix it. Finally, they added in that delay where literally you can see a timer on your screen when you pull out a second shotgun. That's how they solved that problem, right? Building was hard. Like I said, they made it way too easy. And then what did they do? They had to nerf it. SMGs were useless. Well, they added in really OP SMGs, and then they had to nerf it. Just mistake after mistake about balance issues, right? People don't want to get one-shotted, so they just, now the nerf, oh my god, the shotguns. Yeah, it's so sad to see a shotgun nowadays. It's just so frustrating. To hit 16 damage up close, like, it's just, yeah, god. It sucks. So balancing the way they're doing, dynamic balancing, fast balancing, having to do this on the fly all the time, it's hard. It's hard to get it right, and they keep getting it wrong, and that's making everybody frustrated, right? So those are the three issues. The three issues are fights are lasting too long, it's way too easy to get around the map, and the balance for all the weapons and items and everything is all messed up. So how do we fix this problem? First, minis need to be tweaked. You either can fill up your shield all the way to 100 or reduce the capacity down to 5. I think you should reduce capacity down to 5, mostly because going up to 100, it would make them more OP than regular shields, more OP than any other shield, except a Chug Jug potentially, but they're just so fast. 5 cap, 50 shield max, and I think they'll be okay. At any time you get into an engagement, you're going to find shields, mini shields all over the battlefield. Like 1 out of 5 engagements will you not find shields afterwards. At least one to get you at least 25 shield or higher. So that needs to get reduced because it's just making them take way too long for fights. When it comes to building, you need to bring back some of the interference that occurs when structures are hitting other items in the environment. That just makes it so that you have to have some level of skill. Like, you shouldn't use it. Like, for example, if you're hiding behind a car because you want to shoot at somebody, then they see you, you shouldn't just be able to get a ramp on that car and it be standing in the middle of the car. That's rewarding you for not positioning yourself in a proper position. A good player should know when and where they can or cannot build. When you reintroduce that interference, you will begin to see the skill gap return when it comes to building. In addition to that, they need to reduce this stickiness that's occurring, and specifically when it comes to the top and bottom ramp issue. Like, I see it all the time. I mean, I don't think you guys just try it. When you're running up the side of a mountain, just look at how far down you have to look in order for that top ramp not to place. Like, it's crazy. You almost have to look straight down, and at that point, you'll almost miss your next ramp that you actually need to run on just to avoid placing that top ramp. The third thing that they could do to fix this game, guys, is bring back the shotguns. I can't say this enough. You need to have a shotgun that could do one-shot damage. You need to have the potential to hit somebody in the face with a pump, and they go down every time. It needs to be consistent. It needs to do a lot of damage. That's what shotguns do. Maybe you want to change the fire rate, I don't know, but shotguns need to do a lot of damage. Make the range really bad, that's fine, but when you're up close and you hit a shot, it needs to crush somebody. That's just simple. Hitting somebody close up within 5 meters with half your pellets should not do 50 damage. Should not. It's a shotgun. It's just, you're at such a penalty for using a shotgun now, and it's really making the game not fun. Because I like SMGs, but I don't want to use them as a primary close-up weapon. I'd rather use a shotgun, because when you hit somebody with a shotgun, you end your fight right then and there. When you use an SMG, the fight takes a while, and you're likely to take some damage. Well, I don't want to take damage if I don't want. Not to mention, you reintroduced the shotgun meta, which was, I think, the most fun meta in all of Fortnite. I should be showing you a clip in the background here of where I easily offed like 3 people in a row just by using a few walls and a couple of quick shotgun blasts. And this was even after some shotgun nerfs occurred. It's just that the ability to do damage and to be clever with your way you wall and ramp and move around a little bit allows you to make some plays that you couldn't make and not take that much damage. Like, if the clip you're seeing would have occurred in today's meta, I never would have survived. I would have died, for sure. But the fact that I could stay in one location and take on 3 people by fighting with shotguns, it's gone. That meta doesn't exist, and it needs to exist. Last but not least, guys, and I think this will resolve itself, take out the rifts. I'm pretty sure after Season 5 they're going to go away, which will be good. But they need to start looking at, maybe it's too fast to get around the map. Like, it's good that people are, confident in their play, so they're aggressive and they're charging everything. And in fact, for a lot of benefit to Fortnite, people's main impulse is to just push you instead of be passive. Like in PUBG or maybe H1 or whatever, you might let somebody go by you because you'd rather stay alive. But in Fortnite, that's not it. If you're passing somebody, you're letting them pass by, you wouldn't normally do that. You're going to charge them. In fact, I rarely see somebody let somebody go unless they're super low on health or their mats are not, whatever it is for certain circumstances. But in almost every case, you push or you engage the person in one way or another. That's cool. That makes Fortnite fun, but it's gotten to be too aggressive, and it needs to be toned down because the map's too small, and getting third parties sucks, man. When you're having a good game and somebody that it seems like they don't deserve to kill you just shows up late to the party and gets the kill, like that just really sucks. So hopefully they do. I don't know how they can balance that necessarily. Maybe reduce the frequency of bounce pads, make them more rare, make some of those items a little more rare. That would help. I'm sure the rifts will go away. That'll help. I don't think people use ATKs that much, but just get rid of them. There's no point. We've talked about this from day one, that Fortnite didn't need vehicles, and it never did. The Fortnite map is like 1/300th the size of the PUBG map or something. It's really small. I think that's the wrong map, the wrong definition. But I think the Fortnite map's like 4 miles long, whereas the PUBG map's like 30 miles long. So that makes sense to need, vehicles. But the Fortnite map doesn't need vehicles. You can tweak the storm timing like they've done so that you can still get across the map without needing vehicles. Like I said, I don't think people are using vehicles as much as they could just because they're so loud. But if they did, that's just another way that people can get places really quick and third party you. At the end of the day, I'm trying to make it so that you can end third partying, which has really become a problem for Fortnite. So that's it, guys. Those are my 3 issues that I have with Fortnite that are kind of making Fortnite not that fun right now. I even tweeted out recently that I'd be happy to just play Playgrounds and record videos that way. In fact, I'm struggling on gameplay myself just because I don't play that much that often, just because I don't want to deal with it. It's just not that fun for me. And until they fix it, I don't know how easy it is to continue to play this game. So those are my 3 issues again. Like I said, fights are lasting way too long, it's too easy to get around the map, and weapon and item balancing is way out of whack right now. Hopefully they can fix it, but I really need to know what you guys think, guys. This is a kind of video where it's really important for you guys to give your opinion down in the comment section down below. This is a good chance to engage with each other. I'd love to know your opinions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there stuff I missed? Just let me know in the comment section because I really want to know your thoughts. I feel like I have a good grasp on what the issues are just because I've played this game for so long. So I still want to know yours. I still want to talk to you about it in the comments. I will respond to pretty much every comment as I usually do. I hope you did enjoy this video, guys. If you did, make sure you hit that like button though. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe. And if you're not following me on social media, those links are down in the description below. And as always, guys, my name is Argon, and may you never die to a bush. Peace.